Mango Seasons. J.C. Menapace. November 28, 2018. I remember only too well the morning when my father had agreed with his brother-in-law Uncle Giorgio to have me go along on our family's delivery wagon. We were to deliver 40 cases of beer they'd brewed. Uncle Giorgio, no matter whether wearing coveralls during the work week at the brewery or a three-piece, double-breasted dress suit while attending High Mass on Sunday, always looked debonair. A handsome man, he wore his thick black hair parted down the middle and plastered straight back over his ears. He gave every woman in our village an admiring glance. They all returned theirs. His bold handlebar mustaches knocked them back on their heels. Taller than the lintel over the doorways to people's houses, a real heavyweight, a formidable character, in his beautiful deep bass voice he'd told me, "Fortunato. Your cap," suggesting that I wear my wool stocking cap pulled down over my ears because of the cold morning air. While rubbing together his big bulky hands to take off a chill, he added, "She's a cold one today," followed by his customary burst of hearty laughter. Aboard the seat on the delivery wagon and holding the reins on our horse I wore my cap pulled down over my ears. How gorgeous the moonlit ground covered in a thin blanket of snow. A cold wind whistled across the rise as we ascended the roadway. The sullen sky offered the promise of a bright sunshiny day. Roosters crowed their good morning from inside their fenced roosts. Uncle Giorgio winked pronouncedly while clicking his tongue noisily against the back of his front teeth. He'd told me, "One day you will be responsible for happiness in your own roost." Then he pulled my cap a bit farther down on my forehead. He called out loudly to our horse, causing it to break into a gallop. By the bright early morning light we saw smoke curling upward from the chimney pots atop cottages in the village. The snowy rooftops were streaked by pale gray shadows. Lustrous reflections from slanted rays of sunlight glittered momentarily, stirring mysterious throbbing sensations inside me apart from the familiar metronome beats of my heart and the clip-clopping noises of gelato's hooves. My emotions rushing headlong forward ahead of my thoughts caused my soul to flutter with unfounded joy. Uncle Giorgio turned to me and he said, "Begin your cry," and so I began calling out, "Beer men! Beer men! Beer men!" announcing our arrival to the villagers still inside their cottages. We soon met up with old Jacopo, a guy with several front teeth missing. He was aboard his own delivery wagon as he hauled a cargo of ice for in people's ice boxes. Remarkably disenchanted with his lot as the local iceman, he appeared put off by Uncle Giorgio's "Buongiorno, Jacopo." The old man merely grunted. In the meantime, I'd focused my attention on the cargo of ice aboard Jacob's wagon. The canvas tarpaulin had been left undone over blocks of ice the size of bales of hay. In front of them stood bushel baskets filled with big chunks of crushed ice as clear as glass. Following some whispering between Jacopo and Uncle Giorgio that I'd overheard, it included my name and such oblique phrases as ripe of age and mango season. I'd watched Jacopo and Uncle Giorgio exchange shares of smoking tobacco. Then Uncle Giorgio told him, "Remember to tell the widow I soon will be bringing Fortunato to her." A short way farther down the street we happened upon the village idiot known as Play the Bones. His true name I've forgotten. A frail man, he lived his days seated on a curbstone holding two bleached femur bones scavenged from the skeleton of a dead cow. He sat clonking together these two big bones that affected a dismal hollow-sounding noise as he chanted to himself about bygone days and lost love. I shall always remember his micrometric smile as an indicator of his insane innocence. By late morning, around one half of our cargo delivered, a woman's voice called out loudly to me. "Beer boy! Come! Come here, beer boy!" She was standing in among laundered bed sheets hung on a clothesline to dry in the sun. Uncle Giorgio ushered me down off our wagon, saying, "Go quickly. Take this case of lager to the widow." I'd wondered, is this the woman Uncle Giorgio had told Giacomini he would be bringing me to her? When I came out to where she stood on the other side of the bed sheets, I put down her case of beer. I looked up and scarcely believed my eyes. She had the hem of her dress lifted to the height of her belly button, thereby revealing a most curious-looking black cat. It occurred to me instantly that her furry feline must not only be blind but also deaf and incapacitated. As I could plainly see, it neither had eyes nor ears nor legs. But what a wide open mouth! I stood staring into its pink gullet. Dumbstruck, I'd wondered what calamity must have rendered it toothless. Dumbstruck, I'd let her take hold of my right hand. She used it to stroke her kitty's fur. Thereupon, she began trembling until letting go a deep sigh of satisfaction, her hot breath steamy in the cold air. Next, she lowered her dress down to her ankles. "How much do I owe for the lager?" she asked me. I told her I needed to find out from my uncle. She kissed me on my forehead and sent me off. When I reached our wagon, I could tell by the look of anticipation on Uncle Giorgio's face that he expected a report from me. I'd blurted, "That lady has a black cat without eyes, without ears, without feet." Uncle Giorgio wanted to know, "Does it bite?" And then he broke out laughing as he pulled my stocking cap way down over my face, telling me, "In a few more mango seasons you will marry a woman as good and as holy and as wonderful as your mama. Like this widow, she too will have a kitty. As a husband in love alike unto your papa, in relation to your mama you will be compassionate. Do you understand?" Too young. Too innocent. I did not.